From the start, flying was one of the major desires of humankind, and we achieved that by hot air balloons, supersonic fighter jets, helicopters, and a lot more. But there's always a requirement of a substitute who can perform the same task with less human interference. So, for the purpose of video capturing, live surveillance, and bombing, we started looking for UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles, or you can say drones. But you cannot just declare UAVs and drones are the same things on YouTube because all the aviation engineers will gather and start. So, in short note, every flying drone is a UAV, but every UAV is not a drone. Welcome to Fact Seekers. In this video, we are going to discuss about fascinating evolution of these fast, precise and lethal machines called UAVs. So, let's shift time nearly 150 years back. In 1849, because of the dispute with the Republic of Venice for retaliation, Austria came out with a very different but lunatic and suicidal plan. A young Austrian artillery lieutenant named Franz von Euchatius has the idea of launching balloons carrying explosives over Venice. Army approved for that. The first attempt carried out on July 12, 1849. It failed because of the very obvious reason the wind was flowing in the wrong direction. But they didn't stop. Instead of looking for other plans, after a few days they launched dozens of balloons carrying bombs. Time magazine provided an account from one eyewitness. The balloon appeared to sky to about 4,500 feet. Then they exploded in mid-air or fell into the water or blown by the sudden southeast wind. It sped over the city and dropped into the besiegers. Venetians abandoning their homes crowded into the streets and squares to enjoy the strange spectacle. When the cloud of smoke appeared in the air to make explosion, all clapped and shouted. Applause was the greatest when balloons blew over the Austrian forces and exploded, and in some cases, Venetians added cries of bravo and good appetite. Well, that would be very disappointing for the lieutenant who was expecting for the promotion after this great idea. Well, you can consider this as the history's first aerial bombing or bursting cloud show as witness described. After that, Japanese also tried that in 1944, but this time its path, wind speed and weather was precisely measured by the number of scientists. Unfortunately, they wasn't also that much successful. Let's get back to Venice. So after Venice bombing, everyone started believing that you can't bomb or do a survey of a place without getting hurt. In 1915, the Battle of Neuve Chapel. For keeping the death count low and for knowing the location of German trenches and gunmen, British Royal Flying Corps started taking pictures from above and made nearly 1,500 aerial maps, and it worked, but only for a day because it didn't took a lot of time for Germans to crack their strategy and they started changing the position of their trench lines and gunnery positions. But that was just a type of aerial survey, not a proper unmanned aerial vehicle taking picture from above and eliminating the target by the commands of their operator. But just after 2 years, America did the test flight of Hewitt-Sperry automatic airplane. That was the full name. It was developed by the team of brother Elmer and Lawrence Sperry with Peter Hewitt. This plane was also called flying bomb, or some experts consider it the predecessor of cruise missile. But this wasn't so much efficient as well. The initial problem with that was it was made for the remote control. So there were no seats or space for the pilot so they can control it on runways. So instead of using the runway, they made the catapult for launching the UAV. First 3 attempts were badly failed because of weak airframe, and after new airframes and few more crashes, they accepted that UAV is heavier and more expensive than the regular manned aircraft. Finally, they closed the program. After that, in 1930, Curtiss N2C2 developed on the base model of trainer plane N2C fledgling. Model 48, Model 51, all names belong to the same aircraft. Curtiss was basically developed on the base technology of Hewitt-Sperry automatic plane. It was also gonna get controlled by the radio waves and also gonna get launched by the catapult. But this time, the launch system was better. Size and the weight of the plane was small due to the new innovation in airframes. This was much lighter than the previous one. But it has also some problem with range of radio waves and some control problems never gonna made it strong and a reliable asset in battlefield. Because of big, heavy, unreliable computers and less developed signaling technology, army and scientists stopped and nothing revolutionary came out after that. Until 1973, Israel tested a UAV named Teheran Mastiff. It featured a data link system and miniature electronics that fed live and high-resolution video coverage of the target area to operator. Its endurance capabilities was a lot higher than its ancestors. It was able to fly up to more than 7 hours with a 10 kg of payload. This was considered as the first modern surveillance UAV. It was challenged by its own colleague, or you can say other machine developed by the same nation called IAI Scout. Well, after a big ground success of world's first modern UAV, still they didn't prove themselves in the battleground. But in 1982, Fighting with Syria, Israel wanted to keep the body count low, so they decided to work with the perfect coordination of drones and fighter jets. Israel Air Force used the endurance power of drones very wisely. Israel won that war by taking down 82 to 86 jets. Yes, you heard right, 82 to 86 jets, with just loss of 2 F-12 jets and 1 IAI Scout. After that, ideology of armies towards drones dramatically changed. Those thought that the drones are just expensive, unreliable toys started considering it a possible threat in the battlefield, and a race started between big armies for developing unmanned weapons from cruise missiles to unmanned bombers. After that, in 1985, in Lebanon and Libya, US Crown Commander shown the requirement of fully armed UAVs for infiltrating and attacking in heavily guarded enemy areas. Then US and Israel started working together and developed R2Q Pioneer on the base model of Mastiff Tehran. It made some flights served for a few time as well. So after a big ground success of reconnaissance drones, still they haven't the capabilities to destroy their targets as their ancestors were supposed to do. But in 2000, what America developed totally changed the rules of battlefield and made literally no place to hide for their enemies. They deployed the Predator drones in Afghanistan, which was tested in 1994, and it was amazing in all the categories. Got very high endurance power that could keep it on the sky for 24 hours, and a very heavy payload capacity and armed with extremely lethal missiles and guns. And just after the year of deployment, it proved its worth and earned the full trust of ground militaries waiting for its surveillance report, and those ready to push the button in control room to extinguish their target from the battleground. Yeah, era of modern and fully functional UAVs came, but their reach was limited to the powerful armies and normal person couldn't even think about owning one. But these days we have a very different image of drones. They are not only lethal, but they are everywhere, clicking our photos, filming breathtaking videos from above. So what about them? How they became so familiar? Well, let's go back to 90s, when surveillance drones becoming common for military. But they found the need of something portable so they can scan the battleground without being so heavy and expensive. So DARPA started developing small-scale drones. Then just after that, till 1995 to 2000, toy manufacturing industries started developing radio-controlled UAVs. And in few months they become the best Christmas gifts. Within time and development of smartphones, small powerful batteries and Wi-Fi technology, year by year they started becoming smarter. And finally in 2014, Amazon started its first home delivery service by drone. And now, drones became a very important part of our life. Mostly in filming, because it's very easy to film very tricky shots from different angles, sometimes very close to ground, sometimes above from skies. And tech experts also believe that not in distant future, these drones will replace big cranes from construction sites. Delivering food and stuff from drones will become a norm. So just imagine a world of pre-programmed taxis, food delivering UAVs. Isn't it convenient and more comfortable for humankind? So guys, if I missed something, then comment below, because framing a topic like evolution of drones in a single video isn't very easy, because aviation in that time was evolving at different levels and situations, so it wasn't easy to describe every single aspect of that in a single video. So if you haven't subscribed my channel yet, then please go on, subscribe the Fact Seeker and press the bell icon for further updates. And thanks for watching.